Good evening. I'm Greg Sharpe. Our sports ticker tonight brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Nebraska's tight ends coach Bob Wager has resigned his position after being cited earlier this week for a driving offense. Wager joined the staff back in December, coming from the high school ranks in Texas. Josh Martin will take over the tight end room. Martin has 7 years of experience coaching tight ends at both SMU and Arizona State. He has been a special teams analyst for the Huskers for the last several months. Just a reminder, Fan Day for Husker football set for Sunday. This year will take place inside the Hawks Championship Center from 3 to 5 Sunday afternoon. The Big Ten Conference announced their preseason poll for volleyball, along with their preseason all-conference squad. The Huskers were picked second behind the Wisconsin Badgers. The poll was conducted by the head coaches in the conference. Minnesota was third, followed by Penn State, Purdue, and Ohio State. The only Husker selected for the preseason all-conference team is Lexi Rodriguez. She is a returning second-team All-American. The Huskers will hold their annual red-white scrimmage on Saturday, August 19th. Just a handful of tickets remain for that match. After yesterday's announcement that Colorado is rejoining the Big 12, several reports today indicate that the conference would like to add at least one more member to get them to 14 for the 2024-25 school year. The Buffaloes had departed for the Pac-12 the same year that Nebraska left for the Big Ten. Major League Baseball nearing their trade deadline. Several more moves today. We'll check the scoreboard. The Marlins have an early jump with the Tigers, 2-0 in the second. And they're just getting underway. Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. Angels at the Blue Jays. Nationals and the Mets. Guardians and the White Sox. And the rest of the baseball later on tonight. And our sports ticker, sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Get set for a full 2 hours live Friday night sports highlight here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
The trips to the near side, rolls the pocket right, being hit as he throws down the field. The pass is up for the in the air. Marquise Buford makes a pick. There's the first INT of the year for the Husker. Marquise Buford pulls it out of the air at the Nebraska 24-yard line. 2nd and 6, DeVito goes shotgun. Motions the tight end, so you have 3 eligible to the near side. A little screen to the near side. Huskers blow it up. Oh, what a play made by Quentin Newsom. Read that beautifully, made the tackle. It's a loss on the play of 4 yards. Snap back. They give it off to Anthony Grant. Picks his way to the left. Inside the 10, inside the 40, 35, 30. Breaks the tackle. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Wow, I'm not quite sure how to feel. It's a Friday night, and we're in here in the studio.
It's been a minute since we've been in here live on a Friday night. Since baseball season.
Yeah, so I'm thinking.
Or before baseball season, because I think there was a night or something that I had to do an hour when you guys were on the road or something. You had a late night.
On the West Coast.
Yeah, but a full show, it's probably been since basketball season.
Sometime in early February.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been almost 6 months. We'll try to muddle our way through this.
Yeah, we might be a little rusty on this Friday night show.
I heard I missed a terrific joke.
You did, and by the way, this time a year ago, Friday night shows were deemed the party shows because I think we were a little out of control.
Loopy.
But yeah, you put Cole on notice that his segment was under review, and he came. I texted him yesterday morning and said, "You're ready for your joke, right?" And he said, "I am locked in." And he delivered. I noticed, too, because we had a lot of people that responded on the text line, and it was pretty hilarious, some of the things that people were responding to. That one of them said that you could tell I didn't like it. I didn't laugh as hard because I was not a parent.
What?
Yeah. Because that was tied in the joke. It was a parent, So, anyways, there were some people that gave him some harsh criticism in the chat, but for the most part, most people liked it, especially on the text line.
Very good.
He won the text line.
So he survives. He'll be back for another week. Let's start with the news that just popped about 30 minutes ago, and that was news about Nebraska's tight ends coach Bob Wager resigning his position after a driving incident. To me, it speaks of, you can speculate I'm sure the reporters are out doing a deep dive with police reports around town to see what it is. You would kind of lean toward it's got to be a DUI or something more than a speeding ticket.
It was, quote, a citation for a traffic offense or a driving offense, right?
Probably not just double parked.
Yeah.
Somewhere. So this is a shame. But I also think what this is probably Matt Rule kind of almost a zero tolerance policy that, if I'm going to hold my players to a certain standard, I certainly have to hold my coaches to that standard.
Absolutely. Yeah. And he does that. And that's every player, coach, support staff. I mean, from everybody that I've talked to since he started assembling the staff, and that's what they all like about him, is that he holds everybody to the same standard. And it's the same expectations he has for players, his assistant coaches, he has for his support staff. I mean, from top to bottom, that he has those kinds of expectations. So, yeah, you can't do something that is, detrimental or brings anything like that to light or, affects a football team in a negative way. But Josh Martin is a good football coach, and they have been really talking. I've heard his name several times. He's got deep ties to Texas. And so, and that was a big part of Coach Wager coming on board too, is his ability to recruit in Texas. But Josh Martin will be able to pick up that seamlessly. And of all the positions to make a change this late, probably tight end, when you say would be one of the easier ones to step into.
It's not a coordinator.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been a hard pill to swallow.
And Josh Martin has coached tight ends before.
Yes.
At SMU, he coached Grant Calcaterra, who's on the team up there with Cam Jurgens up in Philly. So he's actually coached tight ends. And Josh Martin's a guy that probably would have had a position had it been available. He's certainly capable and has enough experience that he could have a position, not just a special teams analyst, a bigger position or a position coach role on the staff. And so, it's probably only a matter of time before he took another step in that direction anyways. But, it's kind of stinks that it's this close. You're 2 days away from training camp that this news comes out. They're moving into the dorms tomorrow. But I truly believe, again, with the staff that he's assembled, they all are pretty much on the same page. And I got to imagine that even though it's not ideal, that Josh Martin will be able to step into that role pretty seamlessly.
Well, and all cards on the table. I had interviewed Coach earlier this week. And
I promoted it last night.
We were going to play it tonight after media days were over. He was beyond excited to get the year going. He was beyond excited about his room. Just loved the guys that he was getting a chance to coach. And so some mistake has been made. I'm sure the media will give us more details later, but we were told a few hours ago you're not going to be able to run that interview tonight. We found out why then about 5:30 when the release came out with that. So I'm with you. I feel bad for Coach. Whatever happens, I hope he is able to overcome that. But I think it's a great opportunity for Coach Martin, and let's go. Let's move on. And I'm sure he's going to now try to get relationships going with this tight end room and get practice started on Monday.
Yeah, and again, I mean, I know that the staff is a big fan of Josh Martin. I mean, I sat here and talked to Dr. Susan Elza, who just came from Texas, and she brought him up. And I've heard his name a lot of his ability and his ties to Texas and all of that he's going to be able to probably step in there and fill that recruiting void if you're targeting those Texas kids still, which the class is almost full for this year. But if you're starting to recruit next year's class, that you still can move in there seamlessly with a guy that has those ties to Texas. But, and thank goodness that this wasn't another dark cloud over Big Ten Media Days, because it was able to, Coach Rule was able to go in there and get his messaging across, and he handled everything so well. And the players, too, you wouldn't want them to be asked about it. Same thing, the same thing that we were sitting here saying about Northwestern. It would not be something that you would want them to be grilled about over and over again, because it's you, by the end of the day, you're getting the same questions, right, over and over and over again. And so, I'm glad that it happened today and not 2 days ago.
Right. We've got BTN's replaying some of their coverage, and they've got the Wednesday edition where they're interviewing, Dave Revson is interviewing the Northwestern athletic director from a suite in the stadium. He did not come down on the field where he might have to run into some other reporters. So, again, we'll go back to what we talked about a couple nights ago. Northwestern has not handled this very well at all, and Adam Rittenberg even seconded that last night with us when we talked to him about it. So they're getting a lot of heat the way they've handled their thing with Northwestern. A couple of interesting things about Media Day, just to kind of put a bow on it, and I did catch up with Kathryn Tappen, who is going to be the sideline reporter for NBC in their coverage of Big Ten games. We're going to play that in hour number 2. I caught up with her while we were there. Ethan Piper, Jessica, was the only offensive lineman there.
Wow.
Now, how crazy is that in a league where we produce an awful lot of NFL offensive linemen, and Ethan was the only offensive lineman
And a lot of
brought.
teams known for their offensive lines.
Absolutely, particularly Michigan. But now Michigan brought J.J. McCarthy and Blake Corum. I mean, those two guys, you got it.
And then you got to get a defensive guy.
Then you got to get a defensive guy. But how about that for Ethan Piper? Good for him. He stood out.
That's awesome. And he seemed to do very well.
He did.
And
I thought Luke handled himself pretty well, too.
I talked about that last night on the show, that, you know, the Big Ten put out a quote from him saying, what would you have said to that kid that walked on that one day you'd be representing Nebraska at Big Ten Media Days? He basically was like, I never would have believed you. I would have said, you're crazy. It just doesn't happen to walk-ons. But I remember when I sat down with him for a Cornhusker conversation and did I was so grateful he opened up and talked about his story with his father who passed away and he was really close to. And, you know, he was, that whole season was kind of his breakout year, right? And so I talked to him a few times, and he was not necessarily comfortable talking about himself. Like if you asked him about Nick Henrich or some of the guys on the team, he would go on and on about it. But he was hesitant to kind of talk anything about himself. But he's really grown in that. He's gotten more comfortable and more, I think he understands his leadership role, and that's kind of part of it, right? When you are starting inside linebacker, you're the leading returning tackler two years in a row, then you've got to be able to be a voice for this team. And I think this coaching staff, I'm speculating here, but I think they've challenged him to step into that role, again, because what I saw on the sidelines from spring game and him coaching up those linebackers and just him going to Big Ten Media Days, to me, I'm taking that as that this staff has challenged him. Hey, you're one of the leaders on this defense. You are a guy that's been here. You're coming back. We need you to help bring this squad together and be a leader for this team. And I think he over the last 2 years, he's embraced being more that vocal guy as opposed to just a lead by example guy.
Well, you heard me ask Coach Rural last night. I go, well, how did you decide on these three? And he goes, well, I could have brought a bunch. Yeah. But then he kind of outlined why he chose those three, and the logic was really solid. He could have taken some other people. I think you and I were trying to speculate back in early June. Who will he take? Well, you felt like Jeff would probably go, and I'm glad he did because some of the other transfer quarterbacks were there as well. That's a big storyline going into the fall, are all the transfer quarterbacks. And Jeff's a 3-year starter at the Power 5 level. I mean, and as he told me, he'd been to the ACC Media Day, so this is the second conference that he'd gone to a big media day. And then Luke, as one of the top tacklers in the conference the last couple of years, he certainly deserved to go. And Ethan Piper's kind of worked his way to that level, and I love that part of it. And you know, Ethan, just beyond what he does on the football field, which is so important to this coaching staff, the things he's done community service-wise, he's just the kind of student-athlete representative that you want. And so, you know, you can base it off of football, but my guess is that Ethan, what he's done off the football field as much as what he's done on the football field was the reason why he got chosen to go be a representative. So here's the plan for the weekend. The team will move into the dorms Sunday morning. They will then have a team meal. They'll have some meetings, and then they're going to go to the Hawks for Fan Day. That's from 3 to 5, and then there's some meetings that night, and then they're on the practice field bright and early Monday morning. We will have our first practice report of the fall. I hate calling it the fall when it's early August and it's heat index of 116, but maybe preseason camp may be the better way to put it. But we'll have that for you Monday night, first preseason camp, all that. All right, good to be back from Indianapolis. It's always fun to be here and listen to people talk. I came away, I was surprised at how many people were picking Illinois to win the West. I'm not in that camp. I think it's Wisconsin or Iowa. I think Illinois is trending in the right direction, but I don't think they have the type of team to win it. And pretty much everybody's unanimous that Michigan's the team to beat, and why not? They look terrific. On paper, they look like they're going to be a really, really good football team. Yeah, for Luke Fickell coming in and taking over, he was able to keep a lot of those talented guys there, and then you bring in a guy like Tanner Mordecai, and I was impressed with Tanner Mordecai and how he
handled himself and breaking down some of the things that he was asked about Wisconsin and, oh, you're not going to be Wisconsin anymore because you're not going to run the football. And he had done a lot of research, and he was talking about the air raid that they're going to move to. The offensive coordinator had 2 1,000-yard rushers at North Carolina in one season, and that it allows a little bit like what Lincoln Riley did. What I think when he didn't run the football very much, but then when he went to Oklahoma and you have those kinds of running backs, boy, you design your offense around the personnel. And so to me, it sounds like that's probably what is going to happen up there. So you add a guy that can absolutely throw the football. He was one of the leading passers in the nation in Tanner Mordecai, and a veteran guy who's played a lot of football. And then you have their running backs and their offensive line, and then they've always had great defense. I mean, to me, it's impressive that Luke Fickell was able to keep a lot of those guys in place, because you know that they were getting hit up to enter that transfer portal and, hey, come be a star on our team.
How about Tagovailoa, Maryland's quarterback, who hopefully we get to see him in November. You hope he's still healthy enough to play in that game. He said he got offered $1.5 million to go to an SEC school in the offseason. I'm not surprised. Not surprised. Somebody dangled that in front of him, and good for him. He stayed. Good for him. And he's not making that at Maryland. I know he's not making that at Maryland, but good for him.
Which SEC school do you think it was? Auburn? Auburn needed one, right?
Probably. I'd have to go through my trusty Phil Steele to well,
because there was speculation that Casey Thompson might end up at Auburn. So
yeah,
Auburn needed a quarterback. To Alabama.
Alabama's not named their quarterback yet, but Auburn's a pretty good bet.
Yeah.
Pretty good bet. And the high shoes were a
hit?
Yeah, so here you go. There's still some left.
Okay,
so.
nice.
I gave one to Coach Rural. He's like, what is this?
Oh, he had never had a high shoe?
No. He goes, do I chew it or suck on it? I go, chew it.
Well, I ordered the kind that I really like, the rainbow sherbet. I couldn't find that in stores, so that's on the way. So
your pal's a big fan of the green apples.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah,
big app. That's his thing. So, all right, man, we're off track here already. 402-413-2400. That's the number if you want to be a part of the program with a call or a text. We're here. We're live. This is not a drill. This is real.
We're back.
Oh, we are here on a Friday.
It is football time.
Friday night, Sports Sunday. When we come back, we're going to play another installment of the Jessica's podcast about nutrition for the Cornhuskers. So that's coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Our Sports Nightly hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. They've got 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. Back to talk some Husker nutrition next.
Hey, Husker fans. The Lincoln Airport is the official airport of Husker Nation. And now with 10 nonstop flights to major cities at affordable prices, it's easier than ever to help bring the Sea of Red to away games. Or to visit popular vacation spots like Las Vegas, Orlando, and Nashville. Visit GoFlyLNK.com to book your trip today and fly like a Husker. Go Big Red!
That's my neighbor Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a big mistake. Hey, Joe, think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have the utilities marked before you start digging?
I'm not digging very deep. It's no big deal.
No big deal.
Dad, the TV's out. Internet, too.
Remember, safe digging always starts with a free call to 811. Oh, what a knucklehead.
Brought to you by Nebraska 811.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting student Ann Gallagher with Campus News. 26 Husker students presented research findings on nuclear deterrence to a panel of U.S. Strategic Command officials at STRATCOM headquarters in Bellevue. The student-led presentation was the culmination of a semester of STRATCOM-guided research and the latest in a years-long partnership between STRATCOM and the National Security Studies program at Nebraska.
Is your garbage disposal not disposing? You had one job. Drains backing up can cause a horrible smell in a home, damaged pipes, and so much more. Some signs that your garbage disposal may be going out include frequent clogs, abnormal and louder noises than normal, or water is leaking from the bottom, just to name a few. John Henry's is here to take care of all the pipes and drains in your home. Call today.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
SOS to the rescue. SOS to the rescue.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Oh, but he can't make it because he's so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling his favorite Luxair dealer. Trusted since 1950, with Luxair you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $2,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
FNBO free checking is checking that's actually free. No fees or minimums, and now no overdraft fees. It's ever so personal, with people to help every step of the way. And easy, with a mobile app that allows you to deposit checks and manage your account wherever you are. So make the switch so you can do more with the Great Big Small Bank. Visit fnbo.com to learn more or stop on by. FNBO free checking. It's ever so free. Member FDIC.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Hy-Vee makes grocery shopping easy with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Just order online, schedule a pickup or delivery time, then leave the shopping to us. Download the Hy-Vee app or go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. It's easy to create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Plus, with Hy-Vee Aisles Online, pickup is free on orders over $24.95, and delivery is free with the Hy-Vee Plus membership. Save time, shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres Solutions. Forever Field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you. It is a Friday, a live Friday show for us here on Sports Nightly. And throughout the month of July, Jessica's been presenting some podcasts dealing with nutrition of Husker student athletes, and we have another installment here tonight.
Yeah, and one of the cool things too about this series as well is that we're getting introduced to all of the members of the staff here, which is unprecedented. There are very few, if any, that have the amount of nutritionists, dietitians on staff and have individually, every single sport has their own individualized nutrition or dietitian, which is just, you just don't find that anywhere. So we're meeting all the different folks that are a part of Lisa Kopecki's team. And tonight we're going to hear from Riley Loy, who works with baseball, Husker baseball. And Tori Beeler was a swimmer here. And now she is working with a few of the sports, including swimming and diving as well. So here is the latest edition of the Husker Nutrition Podcast presented by Midwest Dairy and your local farm families. you guys do a lot working with your individual teams and the training table, but then you also play a part in recruiting. How big is that part of the role too, is when these student athletes come in that you're helping say, hey, this is what we're going to do for you when you come here, if you come here?
Oh, it's huge. And I think one thing I just love about Nebraska is how involved, how much the administration believes in nutrition. We have one of the largest staffs in nutrition, and I'd say probably the country. Definitely Big Ten for sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still the country.
But a lot of our coaches see the value and want us there. So, for example, yesterday I was talking to a potential baseball recruit and stuff, and then it's just a great environment to have it and know that they want our input and want us to help in that process.
Yeah, it's from being recruited here, it was like a thing that I remembered of our nutrition department does a lot for us. And then being on the side of being able to recruit, it, at least the swim coaches, being around them a lot, it's like hit hard on this because you won't get it anywhere in the country.
So what's your sell? What are you telling recruits when they're coming in? You said you talked to a baseball player. Like, what are some of the things that you talk to them about when they're here?
I mean, I came back here from other schools, from major leagues, from LSU. I wanted to come back here because nobody can match the resources. We're one of the only schools that feed all of our athletes 3 meals a day, 5 times a week, and give them money on the weekend. Like, we can look a parent in the eye and say, your kid comes here, we take care of them. And our school provides the same quality of care for all of our sports as they would football, baseball, basketball, all that. Like, you get to come here, you're taken care of.
Okay, well, let's dive into the topics that you guys are here for. Safe supplementation and just supplements overall. What's the benefit? How important are they? What kind of role do they play? I guess let's start there.
It's always the most common question, even going back to recruiting. Every athlete always, the parents, the athlete may ask, what about supplements? And usually they ask about supplements before food. So our job as dietitians is educate where the supplements come in to make you 1% better. I always say nutrition makes you 1% better, but how do we use that supplement overall to make you that, to give you that increase in performance? Biggest thing with supplementation, I say, if you're not eating right, if you're not eating 3 meals a day with snacks, flush the supplements down the toilet, because they're not going to help you. You cannot out-supplement a bad diet. Period. But you can use them to help you if your diet's good. Now, supplements have their time and place. So you have popular ones, basic multivitamins. Those, say you go to Cane's for lunch. You're not getting your greens with it. If you're consistently taking that, you kind of an insurance policy. You're getting your vitamins and minerals to be a D1 athlete there. We say that, like, those vitamins and minerals, they're like motor oil for the vehicle. Car can't run without motor oil. That's one of our most common ones. We provide several for our athletes. So protein powder, multivitamin, vitamin D, Beet-Elite, Mend, which helps heal ligaments, tendons for our injury-prone athletes or athletes after surgery. Tart cherry juice. We provide caffeine as a pre-workout through our cold brew coffee. But there are some supplements you can't provide to an athlete, but they can buy on their own. So creatine, caffeine, so like the Gatorade Fast Twitch, you can't provide it to them. So we can give them recommendations. So the type we're looking for is NSF certification, which does the top of the line testing. So that tells us every batch is tested, every bottle, each one. So, I mean, the problem is with supplements, it's, let's say, a $40 billion industry. There's no regulation on supplements. So a recent study came out about they done like the gummies and melatonin on like any store shelf, and a lot of them showed different substances in each one because there's no regulation on them. Some had melatonin, some didn't, some had CBD. Some had way over the dosage and some had none with it. So we're making sure not only is athlete getting what is advertised, but there's no banned substance. And we're starting to see that come in the news now about eligibility, athletes getting suspended because they pop positive from untested vitamin C.
How important is that? Because I was going to ask you about that. There is so much out there, and when athletes are trying to gain or whatever, I mean, how do you, is it the education part of it, making sure that you are letting them know, hey, what's safe, what's not safe, so that they don't have a test that comes back that does mess with their eligibility?
Exactly, and that's usually the first thing we say on all the recruiting processes. When we know the athlete's committed, letting them know, let me know what you're taking. If you're thinking about buying something, send me a picture of it so we can guarantee it's certified, that you're getting the best quality, especially if you're having to spend your own money on it. But you have to take it at your own risk. We provide the education. I think the biggest issue we see is energy drinks right now. Now, there are some that are tested, Red Bull, C4, but again, you may look in the baseball
rain. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, bang, all that stuff. So I think the culture of energy drinks right now that's where the waters get iffy. And you may tell the athlete, but like, oh, it's just one energy drink.
Let's talk about nutrition goal setting. And so tell us about SMART, right?
Yes.
Is the acronym SMART.
SMART goals. So specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time. Okay, so we just did a lot of DEXAs, and when we have them for 7 minutes, we try to make goals with them. I worked with baseball, so I said, okay, do you remember what your goal was from the last time we met? I don't know, get big. Is that specific? No. But we can use that as a way of like, okay, you want to get big. You want to gain muscle. Okay, how is that going to look from a nutrition perspective? Because I'm not going to work with you in the weight room. I'm not your coach. I just care about how can we complete that goal through nutrition. So we talk. Obviously, he skips lunch. We'll say, well, he skips lunch. Okay, specific would be, I'm going to make lunch every single day. Okay, would that be measurable? Yes, because we have our little scanning system so we can see if he's coming in every day. Yes, it's measurable. Attainable? Maybe, because he's going from 0 to 100 really quick. So thinking, let's start at 3 days a week, go to lunch. Realistic and attainable can kind of be the same thing, but I kind of like to look at it as attainable is something that you can do, whereas realistic is something, are you actually going to do it? So yes, he'll go 3 days a week, but are you actually going to get food, or are you going to get a banana and leave? And then time sensitive would be, it can go in two ways. We can look at it as we're going to do this for a month and see how you do. Or we can say that the time is, I'm going to come to lunch at this time every single day. Or the days that we decide that he's going to come.
What specific goal maybe if you can give us an example of, okay, say a baseball player needs to come in and lose some weight. Like what does that goal look like? Like, is it a pounds thing? Is it based on the DEXA scan? How do you guys go about measuring that?
We try to not be specific on weight. It's kind of like, if the coach says, hey, we need to have them lose 5 pounds, I'm going to come talk to him and say, I don't care about your weight. I care about how you're playing. You need to be quick. If you're not being quick, that's a problem.
Okay, yeah.
So sometimes losing weight is beneficial, but we don't like to focus on that. We like to focus on like the performance of it.
Right.
So looking at that, okay, he tells me, yeah, I have been feeling sluggish. Okay, your practice is at 3. What are you having for lunch? Well, I'm not really having lunch at all. Okay, well, there you go. You're not eating your energy. So let's focus on making lunch and getting carbs in you.
I know that Lisa has always said she wants to get rid of the scale altogether. So I guess that's kind of where the education for us as viewers and fans come in is that it isn't just about, hey, let's lose 15, 20 pounds. It's more about how you're performing and what helps you perform at your best.
And that could get a little tricky, especially with female athletes. So we're always asking, so for example, our DEXA, our body composition testing, we ask our female athletes so for example, soccer, when we did theirs in May, each girl I asked, how did you perform? Riley, I had the best spring. Okay, forget this machine. Who cares? This machine doesn't define you. We don't put a jersey on and tell it to go play. You know, it's one part, and sometimes it doesn't get the whole picture.
Right.
We're very protective of the data in it to make sure it's not ever used against a player or an athlete, but we try to focus specifically on pounds. No, it could be a different case for a wrestler, where you may have a weight specific, like you got to make weight.
Right.
But how are we doing this in a healthy way where we're still keeping lean tissue, lean muscle, and losing it the right way?
Yeah, for sure. Last thing I got for both of you, with Lisa Kopecki serving as the director of performance nutrition and just having a woman in a leadership role, what does that mean to you guys as young women in this field to have someone that, you know, a lot of times in sports, it's still kind of growing across all sports about having women in leadership roles, to have her as the director of the program here in Nebraska?
It's so inspiring. I honestly, it's so amazing to me. I can't put it into words. You know, for us as young women in the athletics role, to see such a strong mentor, her and Marquita especially as well, to see how we handle issues, how we work, because it's hard. You're sometimes the only girl. I think when COVID happened, it was me and one other girl in the football bubble here. So sometimes you're in the boys club, and it's just refreshing to hear how they handle what we need to do and have a leader as strong as them.
And I think it really shows, like, it's okay to be a female in a male area and, like, be powerful. Because it's one thing to just be a female in a male-dominated area, but it's another thing to, like, be a voice and, like, not just be, it's the girl. We don't need to listen to her. Lisa says you're going to listen.
And that was Riley Loy and Tori Beeler with the Husker Performance Nutrition staff. And you can listen to that full episode out now wherever you listen to your podcast platforms or on our YouTube channel. That was just a portion of the full episode. Late night studying, intense practice, cramming for that big test. Take a moment to reset yourself with dairy. Dairy foods like milk and yogurt allow you to stay in the game with immunity-boosting nutrients like vitamin A, vitamin D, zinc, and protein to keep you fueled without the crash. Trusted by athletes and supported by science. A message from Midwest Dairy and your local farm families. Greg, when one of the weeks you were gone, Cole and I were talking about how much, like, we learned just sitting here, because Cole recorded all of those interviews, and we were like, man, you know, some of the things you don't even think about that are just so important to implement, whether you're an athlete or not, into your daily living.
Yep. It is. It's so important. It's such a big part of it now, much more so than it's really ever been. And I think it's fantastic that Husker athletes are treated to the best with that group. Folks, 402-413-2400. Phone lines, text lines wide open. Love to get your input on any of the topics of the day. Also, time to tell you to Hogemeyer. Local means something greater. Raised local, raised right here in Husker Nation. Learn more at therightseed.com. Back with more of the show next.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Hey, Husker fans! Kinetic now offers fast 99% reliable internet for just $39.99 a month for 12 months. Whether you're at home, school, or work, Kinetic Internet delivers the speed you need to stream, game, and stay connected with fellow Nebraska fans around the world. Only $39.99 a month for 12 months. And just like our teams in Scarlet and Cream, no one else even comes close. Check availability at windstream.com. Kinetic Internet, proud sponsor of Husker Athletics. Terms and conditions apply.
Hy-Vee makes grocery shopping easy with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Just order online, schedule a pickup or delivery time, then leave the shopping to us. Download the Hy-Vee app or go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. It's easy to create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Plus, with Hy-Vee Aisles Online, pickup is free on orders over $24.95, and delivery is free with the Hy-Vee Plus membership. Save time, shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online.
There's no place like Nebraska. And there's no place that treats you like your home like Sapp Brothers. For over 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland and have been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Husker fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www.sappbrothers.net. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Nebraska Athletics. Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid materials with protein or Redmond natural mineral salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blauhorn help take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Road Townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red!
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with JTech Solar. JTech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. JTech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the Trail-Taman 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
SOS to the rescue! SOS to the rescue!
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Oh, but he can't make it because he's so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling his favorite Luxair dealer. Trusted since 1950, with Luxair you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue! SOS! SOS!
We're back inside a Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center. You know it's sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. The skies have opened up at Memorial Stadium. Heavy downpour right now.
I feel like it just came in out of nowhere. It was hot and sunny, and then
dark, and
here comes the clouds.
Yeah.
Your windows are down.
My window cracked. They're not down. They're just cracked. So I was not running out and during the break in that was some heavy, big raindrops. So I wasn't going to do that. I want to touch on the volleyball poll came out today, coaches poll for the Big Ten. Huskers picked second. I think that's fair. Nebraska's got that long losing streak to Wisconsin. What's a little odd is Nebraska only had one player on the preseason all-league team, and it's Lexi. save that, because I bet it's way different in the postseason.
I think for this team in particular, I mean, I've talked about this on the show. I had a couple conversations with people on the staff. This is the overall, at every position, the deepest group they've had in a long time. And I think they're really excited. This young freshman group is really, really solid. But when you're voting on these preseason polls, you don't know what those freshmen are going to do, right?
Correct.
I mean, we've heard about it. We saw it a little bit in Beach, a little bit in the spring, and this coaching staff can talk a lot about it. But until other people can see what your freshmen can do, they're just not going to bank on voting for them. And so a lot of that is probably due to just the unknown of what these freshmen are actually going to be able to add once they get on the court in this kind of environment and this type of college play.
The one that I thought might is a non-freshman, that's Merritt, because she was all SEC a year ago. Was she? I don't think she had All-American honors. But I thought there's somebody who's been in all-conference in a pretty good league in the SEC that she could get a little mention. But you're right on the freshman. Nobody knows where to put them. Again, I think it'll look totally different in December when we see the postseason.
I think so, too. I mean, I think this is a group. This is still a sport that I'm learning, right? I mean, I did not know volleyball as well. It just was not as big at Oklahoma. And so, but to me, I think this group is one of the more excited since I've been here. I think they're as excited, if not more excited, that they've been about this group in particular than the ones they've had in the last 3 years.
Wasn't it 2 years ago they made the finals?
Yeah, finals. Yeah.
Who beat them?
Wisconsin.
I should have known that. I tried to wipe that out of my memory, I guess.
You erased that. I thought you were like kidding.
Because that was in Columbus. Last year was in Omaha. We didn't get there. And this year, Tampa, Final Four. And like Ethan in our chat room says, Harper Murray for sure. Yeah, I mean, Harper is one of the top freshmen in the country coming into this season. So a lot of expectations for her. But I'm not going to write off Joy Boy or Jackson. I think they all both have a chance to be big-time impact players.
I mean, I think just the depth and the ability to I think they feel good about the depth that they've built at every single position to be able to rotate in when they need, but also maybe to do some special things and to stick with one lineup too. Also, I think that's kind of one of the keys that we've heard Lauren even ask Coach Cook about is sticking with the same lineup. So I don't know. I'm really excited about this group, and I know this coaching staff is too.
They start practicing in about 10 days when they get going. Hey, folks, buckle up with the phone now. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office, 402-413-2400. We're back to wrap up hour one next.
You're in the driver's seat with Woodhouse. Shop, finance, and buy your next vehicle your way. From the comfort of your home or one of our 17 dealerships, we make it easy. And our selection of new and pre-owned vehicles means we've got something for everyone on our lot or on its way. Plus, with every vehicle sale, Woodhouse donates to the Food Bank Backpack Program to fight childhood hunger. Make a difference and purchase your next vehicle your way with Woodhouse.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
T&L Irrigation Company knows their way around a field and across it, into the corners, and even through storms. T&L engineers are constantly working on solutions producers need, like the new gooseneck cradle corner system attachment. It greatly improves corner span stability to tackle steep terrain and stand up to high winds. If you're looking to upgrade your corner system or add on new, call your T&L Irrigation dealer today or visit TLIRR.com to learn more. T&L, like no other.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by Woodhouse. You can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com. Anytime. They've got 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. This would not be ideal weather for the night of August the 30th.
I was just going to stop you before you even put it out there. Do not even put that out into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like,
it's the risk you run. They do have a backup plan. They'll go to the Vandy Center and get the match in.
Yeah.
If they have to do that. But, yeah. Well, I'm glad the rain's coming down. We could use the rain after this hot week that we had here.
It's been brutal. How was it in Indy?
They were a day or two behind us. So they were, yesterday I think it was 96. I think today they were going to be in the hundreds. There.
You
Love that
feel
stadium.
it radiating off of you. I brought this up last night, by the way, because Coach Roll posted about those guys trying the cocktail sauce at St. Elmo's. Remember when I was not warned about it and I took a big heaping?
It gets you.
And my nose was
It's
burning.
horseradishy sauce is what it is.
It was. So I don't know if they were, I don't know what the laughy faces were, if he didn't warn the guys before or what, but they all look like I look like when I had my first bite of that stuff. But Indy's fun. It's a cool downtown area.
There's so many little restaurants and hotels right near both Lucas Oil for the Colts, and then I don't know what the field house is called. It used to be Bankers Life, Conseco. I don't know what it's called now. But it's a perfect spot for the Big Ten tournament because it's all so close. This year, both the men's and women's basketball tournaments are in Minneapolis. So the women were up there last year. Now both the men and women are going to be up there this year.
Well, Searles is a big fan of Minneapolis.
He is.
He played there. He's always said that's one of his favorite cities. So.
I like it too. I just wish the winters weren't as long as they were.
Yeah.
And the basketball, early March, still probably going to be winter. We got another hour to go. You got that in you? You good for this?
I'm ready. I'm ready to roll. It's a party show.
We're going to hear from Kathryn Tappen from NBC Sports. They are now one of the broadcast partners for Big Ten Athletics. She's the sideline reporter. Also does the sidelines for the Notre Dame broadcast, which they are still a part of that. NBC is with Notre Dame football and the Big Ten. We'll hear from her, and then we're going to hear from the new women's tennis coach at Nebraska, who just got hired a few weeks ago. So we're going to hear from him as well.
Hopefully we still have power.
As the thunder rolls.
And the lightning strikes.
Yeah, there we go, Garth. See, now, Cole, if Cole was on it, he'd have that bumper music ready to roll out.
He would deserve a raise off of that. But it is, I hope we still have power.
We're going to be just fine. and we got winners and losers for the first time in 6 months. Woo! Let's go. Another hour to come here on Sports Nightly. Come on back.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey, Husker fans. Kinetic now offers fast 99% reliable internet for just $39.99 a month for 12 months. Whether you're at home, school, or work, Kinetic Internet delivers the speed you need to stream, game, and stay connected with fellow Nebraska fans around the world. Only $39.99 a month for 12 months. And just like our teams in Scarlet and Cream, no one else even comes close. Check availability at windstream.com. Kinetic Internet, proud sponsor of Husker Athletics. Terms and conditions apply.
spot less. Introducing the cleanup for tar spot, gray leaf spot, southern rust, and more. Novel next generation Adastrio fungicide broadens your spectrum and strengthens your residual when it comes to foliar disease control in corn. Visit your FMC retailer or adastrio.ag.fmc.com to clean up this season. Follow 2EE for tar spot management in corn. Valid until 1/31/28. Always read and follow all label directions.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm sports media student Connor Clark with Campus News. Engineering professor Ronald Faller has been named a Fellow of the National Academy of Inventors, the highest professional honor among academic inventors. As director of UNL's Midwest Roadside Safety Facility, Faller has played a key role in developing innovative roadside safety technologies that are used around the world. Faller has earned 8 U.S. patents and 3 foreign patents over his 35-year career.
Good evening. I'm Greg Sharpe. Our sports secretary tonight brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Nebraska's tight end coach Bob Wager has resigned his position after being cited earlier this week for a driving offense. Wager joined the staff back in December, coming from the high school ranks in the state of Texas. Josh Martin will take over the tight end room. Martin, 7 years of experience coaching tight ends, some at SMU, part of that time at Arizona State. He has been a special teams analyst for the Huskers for the last several months. A reminder, Fan Day for Husker football set for Sunday afternoon, 3 to 5 o'clock, inside the Hawks Championship Center. The Big Ten Conference announced their preseason poll today for volleyball, along with their preseason all-conference squad. Huskers picked second, right behind Wisconsin, followed by Minnesota, Penn State, Purdue, and Ohio State. Lexi Rodriguez, the only Husker selected for preseason all-conference honors. Wisconsin had 4 members of the preseason team. The red-white scrimmage set for Saturday, August 19th. Just a handful of tickets left for that match. Major League Baseball tonight, the Marlins lead the Tigers 4-1 in the top of the 6th. The Phillies on top of the Pirates 2-1 in the bottom of the 4th in Pittsburgh. Toronto edging the Angels 2-1 in the 4th inning. No score Nationals and Mets in the 4th inning. White Sox 1, the Guardians nothing at the end of 3. No score Brewers and Braves in the bottom of the 1st. The rest of the baseball to come later tonight. Our sports ticker, sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Now stick around. Hour 2, Sports Highlight, coming up next.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
The trips to the near side, rolls the pocket right, being hit as he throws down the field. The pass is up for the in the air. Marquise Buford makes the pick. There's the first INT of the year for the Husker. Marquise Buford pulls it out of the air at the Nebraska 24-yard line. 2nd and 6, DeVito goes shotgun. Motions the tight end, so you have 3 eligible to the near side. A little screen to the near side. Huskers blow it up. Oh, what a play made by Quentin Newsom. Read that beautifully, made the tackle. It's a loss on the play of 4 yards. Snap back. They give it off to Anthony Grant. Picks his way to the left. Inside the 10, inside the 40, 35, 30. Breaks the tackle. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Back for our final hour of the night and our final hour of the week. Great to have you with us here. We get a little thunderstorm here in Lincoln right now. Kind of refreshing. Gets us out of those triple-digit temperatures that we've had the last couple of days. You know, I talked in Indianapolis, Jessica, with a couple of the players. I said, now, be honest with me. Are you excited about the dorms? I got kind of a lukewarm reaction from the players, but boy, Coach Rule's all about this.
It kind of the same with me when I was talking and asking players about it. A lot of them, though, understand that that's kind of what some of the NFL teams do. And so getting a feel for it then, but also just locking in and just the buy-in with everything the staff is doing. But, yeah, we'll a lot of them, too, might be excited about it or fine with it now. We'll see how they feel after a week. Next Saturday when we get to talk to them, we'll see how they feel.
How you doing with those dorms?
Did you find out how they are assigning people to dorms?
I did not ask about room assignments. I'm sure that there's going to be some logic added to it. It's not just be a free-for-all. There's going to be rhyme and reason why they match guys up with each other.
Well, so again, I had a couple conversations this summer that when they were out doing community service and with Gus Felder, he told me that they strategically grouped guys that weren't necessarily running mates or had same positions, and so that it forced them to get to know guys on a different level. And so that's been strategic this whole summer, is pushing guys to get to know players that normally they wouldn't know. It's a big football team, right? And you can be a little especially with your position groups and whoever you run with, you can get it can be a little, not cliquey, but you can run with your certain groups just because that's who you're used to going to the meeting rooms with, all that kind of stuff. And so they've been very strategic about pushing guys outside of that and exchanging numbers and having guys have numbers that they hadn't even had before to ensure that they are building that kind of brotherhood. So my guess would be that that's how the room assignments would go. We'll see if they do it per position group, but I think they'll probably split them up.
You mentioned Gus Felder, his name got mentioned several times by Coach Rural in Indianapolis. He mentioned him by name and how important he has been to getting this team kind of all together and ready to pull in one direction. So he's become a big part of this program.
Well, it's what the approach has been this summer. I mean, when I was talking about kind of the 10% and all of that and reaching out to see about who to talk to about that, Corey Campbell and his staff, and then it's Gus Felder and his staff. Those are the two, because coaches can't be with the players right now.
Right.
So those are the two guys that are really getting to spend the most time, and Coach Rule has entrusted in implementing the things that he feels that needs to be implemented before they hit the ground running at fall camp. And so I know Gus Felder is very passionate about it and has done such a great job of getting those guys acclimated with each other, but also really involved in the community. And not that they weren't before, because they did life skills, but it's just on a different level now. And the things that they're doing are pretty strategic in bonding and building those relationships that you need to have in a tight locker room.
Art in Los Angeles on our text line. Any news on the single-digit jerseys? That's going to be laid out later in camp. That's an ongoing process that may not be decided until the week of the first game. Equipment guys love that, by the way. And it will be like the black shirts. They're going to be really slow, I think, to hand out black shirts, Art, moving forward. I did ask Coach last night in our interview, our one-on-one for Sports Nightly, about captains. That's going to be kind of a week-to-week thing. I think it's going to change captains each week for the game. I don't know that he's going to have season-long captains for this football team.
You know, I thought about that too when I think it came after you were asking me, and we were trying to speculate who he would take to Big Ten Media Days, and there's just so many that I think he probably wants to instill that responsibility and the opportunity to multiple guys. I wouldn't be surprised. I can't remember what he did at Baylor. I probably could look into that, but I think I thought about that he'd probably rotate the captains each and every week.
Speaking of numbers, honk if you love trucks and bucks. The Nebraska Lottery's most popular scratch ticket is back, and you could win one of 8 beautiful new blue trucks. Visit any Nebraska Lottery retailer and play today. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000. In Indianapolis, I had a chance to catch up with Kathryn Tappen of NBC Sports. Some of you may see her on their golf coverage. She's been a part of several Olympic Games coverages, and she's been the sideline reporter for their Notre Dame football coverage, and she will be the sideline reporter for their Big Ten football coverage coming up this year. She's also, as I found out, a graduate of a Big Ten school. Here's my sit-down with Kathryn Tappen. Delighted to be joined by Kathryn Tappen, who will be a part of the NBC crew, now part of Big Ten football. That's kind of exciting.
It's very exciting. Just being here at Media Day has been awesome. Meeting a lot of the coaches I haven't met yet before, seeing the local media from each team, and talking to the analysts and the game broadcasters. It's just great. And then you look at the property we just acquired. I mean, to me, there's nothing like college football. The traditions, being a sideline reporter, the smells, the sounds, everything down on that field. And then we'll have an opportunity to see schools we haven't seen yet, and the traditions they have, and the tailgating. I mean, I love college football. I grew up going to football games as a kid. My uncle was a Hall of Famer at Rutgers, and I'd go and cheer on the Scarlet Knights, which I ultimately ended up becoming a Scarlet Knight. So to me, there's nothing like it, and I'm so excited.
There's that Big Ten tie, right? Rutgers. So, and you still have the Notre Dame contract, right, as well? You'll still mix those in as well?
Yeah. I think I'll shift over to the primetime package for Big Ten. I think we will have a Notre Dame game in there, so I'll get the opportunity to go back to South Bend. But my 9 seasons on the sidelines, 8 on the sidelines, 1 as the host for Notre Dame football, really prepared me for this. It's a special property we have at NBC. We're very proud of it. You get the opportunity to cover the Fighting Irish, which is one of the crown jewels of college football and one of the greatest traditions of all time in sports. So I'm excited that I get at least 1 game there with our Big Ten package, and just seeing what Marcus Freeman's done with the program has been really eye-opening and fun to be a part of his transition as the head coach. So I think that experience combined with my passion for college football, it's just a total win-win this year.
Well, and your career is much more than just college football. A lot of our audience may remember you from the Olympic coverage, from doing other golf coverage.
Yeah.
You've had an amazing career.
I have, I know. People ask me what I love most, and I say I think I love the fact that I do multiple things. I get the opportunity to do college football. I did the NHL on NBC and continued to do that for TNT and the NHL. Golf coverage and on NBC, Olympics, events. I do Football Night in America, some NFL games I'll have this season. So listen, I'm blessed. I know it. I also know I worked hard and got to this point doing everything the right way, and I'm proud of that. But I just think, those doors open and you take advantage of it. I would have never have imagined, had you told me as a kid I'd have a 15-year-plus career in hockey, a sport that I didn't even watch as a kid. So I tell everybody that's looking to get into this business, just always keep your eyes open. You never know what door is going to open, and then ultimately what that would lead you to. Being at the NHL Network opened up the door in 2014 to work for NBC, and now look where I am. So you just never know. If somebody says go cover cricket, you better go do it, because you never know who the producer is on that show or what it might lead to. And you learn something new.
Great advice. Kathryn, we have seen an explosion in television numbers for women's sports. And in Nebraska, we love our volleyball program. We just got Jordy Ball for our softball program, which we now think we were a national player there. That's exciting to see how many more eyeballs are coming on women's sports, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge, and that's what needs to continue to happen. In order for women's sports to continue to grow and women to have equal pay, they need to be seen, and we need to put them on network television. I loved the fact that the KPMG Women's Championship on the LPGA Tour was on Saturday and Sunday on NBC. You can watch these amazing golfers. As a golf fan and a golfer myself, I learned so much from the women's game, more so than I do watching the men. So, being able to put them on that platform, and you've got the U.S. women's soccer team right now competing in the World Cup. These are moments that young women and young men are looking at, and they are groundbreaking, and they're changing, and they need to continue to evolve, because like you said, putting women on national television and seeing them on TV and getting women's sports more visible, it only means good things for the next generation to come.
Well, and I think there's a lot of hope that with these new TV contracts that the Big Ten has signed, including Peacock, that maybe that will help expand some of that.
Yeah, we've got a ton of hours to cover, right? So we need men's sports, we need women's sports, and I think even leading into an Olympic year next year, this is huge for us all next winter. We'll be able to watch women's basketball, women's volleyball, as you mentioned. We've got beach volleyball coming up next year in Paris. So all of these things, why not give them the platform during the year, not just once every 4 years at the Olympics? So we have that now.
What's the craziest Olympic sport you covered?
Oh, gosh.
Because there's some wild ones, particularly the summer games, even in the winter games.
Summer games were wild. I did beach volleyball in Rio in 2016, and that was awesome. On Copacabana Beach, what could be a better setting? Carrie Walsh Jennings that was her final Olympics, and she was killing it at the time, and it was just an honor to cover her. But I'd say beach volleyball was wild. The fans, the music in the stadium was pretty cool. But yeah, I watched the USA men's curling team win gold in South Korea. That was pretty cool too. So the Olympics bring out sporting events and athletes and unique storylines that we never see throughout the year.
Bit of trivia: the curling. They set the American team in Omaha. That's where the curling thing is in Omaha.
Yeah.
So, congratulations on this. I don't know if we'll see you in Lincoln this year, but we can't wait to have you.
Yeah, can't wait to be there. I've never been to Lincoln, so I look forward to the opportunity to see you guys there.
Well, continued success to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Kathryn Tappen of NBC Sports. Real fun chat with her. There's rumors out there, and I haven't seen the athletic part has not solidified this, that two of our games are going to be on NBC. I think one's going to be on Peacock. I think Maryland's got a good chance to be on Peacock. So, folks, don't shoot the messenger. I'm telling you, you better get Peacock, because there's going to be a lot of Big Ten stuff you're going to want to see on Peacock.
But how much of it now, because this is all new, but how much of it is solidified from the start, or is it still going to be like a figuring out process throughout the season?
No, I think they've cherry-picked their games, and one of them is going to be our game at Wisconsin. Looks like it's going to be a night game. That would be on NBC primetime.
Because don't you think, depending on how the season unfolds, which is always,
could change.
There's always some wrenches thrown into things, and depending on matchups, that some of the games that might have been designated for streaming could be moving over to broadcast.
Yeah. Well, they're ready, because and Kathryn reminded me that I think it was Notre Dame's opener a year ago was on Peacock, and it just all heck broke loose. People were like, "Where's the game at?"
Yeah.
It's on Peacock. So,
that's why I signed up for Peacock, and I still have it.
I don't have it yet. I will get it. I'll get it before we get into the start of the season.
Because that was when they almost got beat, right?
They did.
Yeah.
They almost lost that game. Folks, our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. They've got 18 brands and, a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. We're back to hear from Nebraska's new women's tennis coach. That's next.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $2,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Meet water's bubblier and more energetic best friend. Bubbler Antioxidant Sparkling Water. With tons of flavors, there's one for every occasion. Interviewing for your dream job, hitting the beach, or going on an epic road trip? Pop the top on your favorite bubbler flavor and awesome antioxidants swoop in to balance your body and focus your mind. Right before a boost of natural caffeine shows up to save your day. There's a benefit in every bubble and a happier you just waiting to rise up. Find out more at Drink Bubbler on Instagram.
SOS to the rescue! SOS to the rescue!
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Oh, but he can't make it because he's so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling his favorite Luxair dealer. Trusted since 1950, with Luxair you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue! SOS! SOS!
Here's to the locals, raised right here in the Western Corn Belt. The strong ones. We help them grow stronger, making world-class genetics research and technology local. The cutting-edge yet common-sense agronomy, the shake-em-up yields. Because we're born and raised here too, and we'll keep raising the bar to ensure you only get the best at Hogemeyer. Raised local, raised right here. Learn more at therightseed.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Farmers can make what seems impossible reality with a little hard work and ingenuity. They find solutions to reduce inputs and improve their yield. Valley Irrigation is no different. As the leader in irrigation technology, we deliver results and optimize your operation. Because when you have a vision for the future, you need the people that can make it possible by your side. Expect what's next. Expect what's possible from Valley. Visit us at valleyirrigation.com.
Hy-Vee makes grocery shopping easy with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Just order online, schedule a pickup or delivery time, then leave the shopping to us. Download the Hy-Vee app or go to HyVeeAisleSonline.com. It's easy to create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Plus, with Hy-Vee Aisles Online, pickup is free on orders over $24.95, and delivery is free with the Hy-Vee Plus membership. Save time, shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online.
Hey, Husker fans! Kinetic now offers fast 99% reliable internet for just $39.99 a month for 12 months. Whether you're at home, school, or work, Kinetic Internet delivers the speed you need to stream, game, and stay connected with fellow Nebraska fans around the world. Only $39.99 a month for 12 months. And just like our teams in Scarlet and Cream, no one else even comes close. Check availability at windstream.com. Kinetic Internet, proud sponsor of Husker Athletics. Terms and conditions apply. Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid materials with protein or Redmond natural mineral salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blauhorn help take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting student Grant Hansen with Campus News. University of Nebraska leadership has launched a $3 billion fundraising campaign to support education access for Nebraska students. The Only in Nebraska campaign, the largest in university history,
will focus on creating scholarships to make education more affordable, attracting more Nebraska students, and keeping young people in the state after graduation.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. As we welcome you back to Sports Nightly, I'm Jessica Coody, and very pleased to be joined by the new head coach of Nebraska women's tennis, Herman Dalmagro. Welcome back to Lincoln.
Thank you. Excited to be back. This feels like coming back home. So.
Yeah, you were an associate coach here 2014 to 2018, so I know you had said this place means a lot to you and your family. Can you take me through the process that you were most recently head coach at Arkansas State, but just the process when the job comes open and talking with Trev and why you felt like it was a good move to move back?
Yeah, no, I think it's kind of when I left here, I think it was always a feeling. It's like I would love to be back here. I think I left to kind of keep growing my coaching career and kind of sometimes you appreciate more what you have kind of when you don't have it for a while. So being away for, gosh, now it's 5 years, kind of make me appreciate Lincoln more. And I know Nebraska is a special place, and it always has been to me and my family. So it was kind of when the opening came, it was just something where I needed to be back, you know. So it was great. The vision that Trev and the whole athletic department has, I think is something that fits my vision and kind of what I see Nebraska tennis going. And it was just a place that, you know, it's hard to not come back to. So
that's awesome. You're associate head coach here in Illinois, and then you got some experience being a head coach at Arkansas State. What were some of the big things you learned as in that role as a head coach that you feel like you can now apply to being a head coach here?
Yeah, I think it's just kind of all the decision making just kind of falls on you. So I think you have to be careful kind of decisions you make, you know, as an associate head coach, or just kind of you can make suggestions or you help make decisions, but sometimes the ultimate decision is on the head coach. I think I learned that. Just kind of trying to create my own culture, kind of what I see the team being, kind of what the work ethic is, kind of what the identity of the team is. I think I learned that, and I try to create that. Sometimes as an associate or anything, you try to fit into kind of what the culture already is, and you try to implement your own ideas, your own vision as well, but kind of not all things fall on you. So it's more responsibility, obviously, but it's something that I embrace and I look forward to.
You had said that when you talked to Trev and the leadership team here, that they were on board with your vision and what direction you wanted to take this program. What are some of those areas and goals and cultures that you want to implement here in Lincoln?
Yeah, well, my vision is I try to kind of be the best we can be. You know, we were close to competing for championships when I was here, and we were in the top 25 for a little bit and all that. And I think it's a matter of just bringing the right people, the right staff and team that will work hard. I think I'm one of those that I rely a lot on preparation, so I want my team to be the fittest team out there. I want my team to be the best team prepared, so whenever match day arrives, you know, we can be that team that fights hard, that is gritty, that all the teams don't like to play against because they feel like they'll never give up. They'll have a high energy. They will bounce around the court. They will support each other. So that's kind of what I'm trying to create. And I think the culture-wise, I think it's just somebody that they support each other, that team comes first. Even though tennis is like an individual sport, I think it's a unique thing that we have in college, that they all come from an individual sport and you combine them in a team. So it's tough to not think about themselves anymore first, but I think it's like if we try to create those standards right away, they kind of will fight for each other more, they'll work hard for each other, and they will support, they will represent the school well. And I think I like community service, so I want them to be involved in the community. I just kind of want that, you know, I told the whole administration, it's like, I want you guys, when you come watch our match, that you feel proud of the product we put on the court, you know, just how they represent the school, how they fight, and no matter win or lose, they feel we're giving it our all. So
it seems like that's a common trend of a lot of coaches here at Nebraska on theme for that you want to just put out something that fans are proud to come watch and support, and that grittiness too is something we've heard too. Where does that come from when you're talking about, you know, teams that want to play you because of that aggressiveness and grittiness? Where does that come from in your background?
Well, I mean, I kind of grew up in a tennis family. My dad's a tennis coach, so I kind of grew up on basically in a tennis court. I mean, he's coached on the tour a little bit. He's kind of has like a high performance academy for many, many years now. So he always installed on us that, you know, you got to work for what you want. You got to earn everything you have, and that is not really substitutes for hard work. You know, I think it's like if you put in all the work, you know, results will come. You know, whether what that timeline looks like, sometimes it's hard to predict. It's hard to predict results. But I think the harder you work and the better you prepare, you know, sometimes the luckier you get. You know, so I think that, and I always been one of those that. I mean, I hated to lose. So sometimes I hated to lose more than I like winning almost. So I think that mindset of like never give up, just not liking losing makes you kind of want to work harder and see, you know, kind of put it all out on the court. So yeah, I think it's just part of. I think it's kind of part of my DNA as a person. You know, I work hard, and I was pretty tough, I think, as a player, but I try to install in my players where, hey, we're gonna be kind of nasty, you know, but not in a bad way. You know, more that it will be tough to play us, whether we're the most talented team or no. And I think it's like my goal as a coach is try to kind of get their best throughout their time here. So
was coaching always something that you wanted? Because you had a great playing career yourself, and with your dad being a coach, was that something you always wanted to do?
Yes and no. I think it's like, at times I wasn't, because I kind of coached a little bit early on in my life. I traveled with a player on tour when I was not even in college yet, just kind of being like a hitting partner and all those. And I was thinking about that, but I was like, well, I don't know if I really want to do this. And then I came to college, and I kind of played my 4 years, and maybe I felt like college tennis was like a really good combo between being on the court, developing players, working, but also recruiting and doing kind of office work and doing other things that kind of diversify you a little more than just being, okay, you know, I'm on the court all day. So I think that piqued my interest more, and I think right after I graduated, I got into coaching, so here I am now.
Developing players, you just hit on something I was going to ask you about, because Trev Alberts mentioned that when he wanted to bring you on, and that's something that's an area that you're really great at. How important is that development part to what you do?
I think it's very important. I think it's almost one of the top priorities. I think it's our goal as coaches to kind of maximize their abilities, maximize their level. And I think I always put it this way, it's like my goal is to try to help them get to a level they can't get to by themselves. You know, so that's kind of thing, feel our role as coaches is to how can we maximize their abilities to be at their best. And I think the player development area comes to play when I spend a lot of time just one-on-one, doing individual works and practices and kind of analyzing their game, and because sometimes it's tough to do that in a team setup. So because each player has their own abilities, their own level, their own strength, their own weaknesses, and in a team practice it's hard to touch all those areas. So we spend a lot of time one-on-one working on that.
Recruiting with tennis is so much different because it's a global game, and you are recruiting everywhere around the world. Take me through what your process is of recruiting, what kind of recruits you're looking at, and the kind of players that you're trying to bring in here, and how you approach trying to seek out those best players around the world.
Yeah, it's tough because I think it's like before you used to be like one location that not too many coaches know, and then you try to hit that place and find good players. But now every coach is everywhere, so it's more about just finding the right fit. I usually say I don't care where they're from, kind of where they come from, as long as they fit the culture, the work ethic, and they come with a good family where they have good values, high integrity, where we know that they're going to represent the university well, even though when they're not playing for us. So it's I used to be just like go look for talent and then you bring that talent here. But nowadays I think it's more of a identify the talent, kind of see if they can fit the level that we can compete for the Big Ten nationally, And then it's just get to know them more, get to know their families, get to know their coaches, spend a little more time with them, just get to know them, how they go about their day-to-day, what their goals are, how they act or behave when they lose, how they act and behave when they play somebody that is either much better than them or a little less than them. So I think because in college they're going to experience all that, so I think it's important for us to kind of do our homework and learn that as much as we can about them, even though we'll never really know until they get here and we're spend every day together. But I think just spend more time in that, and then and see if they're a right fit. Then I think it'll work out well.
Moving into a head coaching role at a program like Nebraska, where there's a lot of resources for a lot of sports and a lot of care that extends beyond football and basketball and all that. How beneficial is that for you? How exciting is that for you to know the kind of resources that are available here for a tennis program?
Yeah, I mean, resources are amazing. I've been to different programs, and I think sometimes resources are slightly different to those bigger sports, to some of the non-revenue, Olympic sports. But I think here in Nebraska, they really emphasize providing the best resources to all sports and all student athletes, which is a big goal of mine. I think it was that attracted me even more, because knowing that when we go recruit, we can tell all the recruits, hey, this is all the resources we have. And I think what sets us apart is make us one of the best programs in the tennis part is all the resources we offer. And I think I always tell this to everybody, I think Lincoln is much better than what people think. I think it's like people have this stigma that the Nebraska, where it's nothing around, or it's not much going on there. And I think once we get them here, they realize that this place is much better, and they have great fans, great atmosphere. The athletic department kind of does everything they can to support every student athlete, just with training table, with resources, academic, life skills, and you name it. I think we have it. So I think it's something that we're proud of. So.
I just recently talked to some of the other women's head coaches about the fan attendance, and number 2 in the country in total attendance. And, Coach Cook, Coach Ravel all mentioned how you can kind of feel this momentum and the excitement, and potentially could be a really special year for women's sports here in Lincoln. How exciting is it to join during this time when you can kind of feel some momentum, I guess, happening?
Yeah, I know it's very exciting. Hopefully tennis can can be in that mix in the future. I think when I was here, we just kind of opened that new tennis facility kind of in halfway my time here. And I think fans starting to learn a little more about tennis, coming to more matches because it was more accessible. We have an unbelievable tennis facility, so I think it's much better now for fans than it used to be. So I think it's a matter of, first, I think we need to put a product on the court that the fans are proud of coming to support. I think that's kind of our main goal, and I think once you provide that, and I think fans will start coming and supporting you more, which volleyball, softball, soccer, and all the women's sports, I think they all have it. So I'll learn more from them as well, what they do. But I think it's exciting, and I think it's tennis is one of those sports that doesn't usually get the attention, either from fans or just in general about coming. But it's it's an exciting sport, and I think it's a unique experience because you get to watch kind of like 6 different courts at a time, or 3 when you play in double. So I think you get to watch different personalities, different styles of game that people can identify with and support that. So
I've always said tennis is one of those sports that it doesn't translate as well to TV. You watch it on TV, you can get a sense, but you don't. It doesn't even come close to the kind of energy and atmosphere that when you're there in person. It's, to me, one of the most exciting sports to watch in person, because it's like sensory overload. There's so much going on.
It is a lot going on. You're right. It is a lot going on. I think it's like the uniqueness that provides is like when you watch on TV, it's just one core, and then when that point is over, people might clap or say something, and then they're quiet and they play. Well, in college tennis, it's like the noise never stops. So it can be distracting, but at the same time entertaining, because I think you get to see the personalities and how they support each other and all that. And I think fans can make a big impact on making the home court advantage, even a bigger one. So.
Just a couple more for you. Trev also mentioned your experience in the Big Ten. You spent some time at Illinois here, and so extensive experience. What does it take to compete for Big Ten championships and to have a successful program in the Big Ten Conference?
Yeah, it's a tough conference. I spent 10 years basically as an associate head coach, mostly here in Illinois. I think it's a good conference. I think it's with Nebraska moving to the Big Ten, I think it helped even add a little more to the playing field, which a lot of schools play indoor tennis, and you don't get to play outside right away. With those schools that are used to playing outside. So I think it provides a little more even playing field with all. And I think it's a tough conference. It's growing. The top teams are kind of getting even better. With the addition now USC and UCLA, I think that's another challenge. But it's exciting. I think it's a high level. It's a conference where it's tough to compete, but I think it's fair. I think they support well, and I think it's just the level will be kind of. I mean, every school kind of has players from everywhere, so I feel like that provides a little uniqueness where we got recruited. I think it's just a matter of finding that fit that can fit that level. So yeah.
So it's probably a whirlwind as you step into this role. A million things I'm sure you have on your to-do list. So what is the priorities? What is the goal list, I guess, here immediately in the short term to get the program off and running and in the direction you want it to?
Yeah, I think it's we'll have a conversation with all the players already, and it's been very good and positive and very supportive. So my main goal is to kind of support the current athletes that we have and seeing how we can get better. What we have right now is a very talented group, and I think they're eager to work hard and kind of see how far we can go. And then beyond that, I think it's just trying to create the culture that we want, with my staff and all the student athletes, and try to keep working on recruiting that level and future Huskers where they'll fit the culture, but I also want to be a part of, of a team that wants to compete hard. So.
Well, Germán Dalmagro, appreciate your time. Again, welcome back to Lincoln. Excited to see where this women's tennis program can go under your leadership.
Well, thank you very much for having me. And go Big Red.
Love it. You already got it down. You got it down again, I guess. You're used to saying it before, right?
I know. It's good. It's easy to get used to. So yeah.
Appreciate your time.
Well, thank you for having me.
All right, we got to work in a break here on Sports Nightly. Buckle up and put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Other irrigation companies are finally discovering what T&L Irrigation is known for decades. Continuous movement is the best way to irrigate. While they'll have you pay for complicated upgrades to get steady, even water application with their high-voltage electric systems, all T&L Irrigation pivots and linears are propelled safely and smoothly by powerful hydrostatic drive. Continuous movement isn't new. It's the T&L standard. Don't get talked into a reinvented wheel. Pick the proven original. Call your T&L Irrigation dealer today or visit TLIRR.com. T&L, like no other.
If you're an unconditional, wholehearted, and ever so loyal Husker fan, you deserve to pay like one everywhere you go. With the free FNBO Husker Visa debit card. Fuel your fandom all season and beyond with a debit card just for you. It's free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get your free Husker Visa debit card at any branch or at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Spot less. Introducing the cleanup for tar spot, gray leaf spot, southern rust, and more. Novel next generation Adastrio fungicide broadens your spectrum and strengthens your residual when it comes to foliar disease control in corn. Visit your FMC retailer or adastrio.ag.fmc.com to clean up this season. Follow 2EE for tar spot management in corn. Valid until 1/31/28. Always read and follow all label directions.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day-by-day donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
Allergy season is officially here. Your home should be a place where you can escape dust, pollen, and other allergens, but every time you enter your home, you bring them inside. John Henry's offers numerous products to remove allergens and germs from your home. Call John Henry's today to learn more about our indoor air quality products to breathe easier in your home.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing. Heating and Air.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
SOS to the rescue. SOS to the rescue.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Oh, but he can't make it because he's so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling his favorite Luxair dealer. Trusted since 1950, with Luxair you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Road Townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red!
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Welcome back, Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody. Good to hear from Herman. Congratulations to him. Good to have him back in Lincoln, and hopefully that program's got some talent. I think they're close to maybe kind of breaking up the ranks a little bit in the Big Ten.
Yeah, and here's somebody who's been an associate head coach, has some ideals that he wants to implement, and you can tell for someone, he was an associate head coach for a long time. He got a chance of being a head coach last year at Arkansas State, but you can tell he's got a lot of things in mind that he wants to implement that he believes could really be of winning success. And how many times have we heard Trev Alberts come here and talk about he wants to win in everything, not just football, not just men's and women's basketball. I mean, he wants to be competitive in every single sport, and so he's not going to hire somebody that he doesn't believe can lead this program in the right direction. And I was really impressed with. He's got very specific things in place, and recruiting in tennis is hard. I mean, it's a worldwide thing, and you've got to find different ways to get kids to buy into your program and get them here. And so I think he's got a good plan in place to be able to continue this momentum of women's sports. I mean, talk about the excitement of what's ahead for some of these women's teams here this year.
Good to have him here. All right, Crawford or Spence tomorrow night? Who you got? I'm so excited for this fight. I'm going to a buddy's house tomorrow. Bud Crawford. Going to take him down.
Wait, you're saying you're going with?
I'm going Bud. I'm on Bud all the way. Team Bud.
Me too, and I have know nothing about this fight. Nothing.
Man, they got into it today. They had a pre-fight press conference out in Vegas. It's in the T-Mobile Arena out in Vegas tomorrow night. And the families were yipping at each other. I mean, it was pretty intense. This is the fight that boxing fans have waited years to see, and it's going to happen tomorrow night. I am so ready.
So we see that with the UFC. Is this typical for like boxing weigh-ins and stuff like that? They get into it a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah, that's part of it. You know, guys, particularly when there's a lot of built-up animosity between these two guys. So Spence.
Why?
Well, Bud believes Spence has been ducking him for years.
This is the fight that people have wanted for a long time.
Yep, because Bud's getting a little older. I think he's 35, so he's probably right at the end of his prime. Spence kind of has been avoiding him and now has finally agreed to fight him. So it's tomorrow night. It's go time.
What's the payout for both these guys on this fight?
It's it's a 3-fight deal. The loser can trigger a rematch within the next 6 or 8 months. I would guess they'll pull in $30 to $50 million each tomorrow night.
Wow.
And the pay-per-view's close to $100.
Wow.
A couple of the local
Who
establishments.
wouldn't want to fight with that?
Right.
Whether win or lose, you're a winner.
Right.
So what kind of fight do you expect it to be?
It's going to be great.
Do you think it's going to go like?
I think it goes the distance.
Long?
I think the Vegas odds say Bud wins on points, and I think that's true. I'd love to see it. The chat room's been talking about it tonight. I know. I'm not sure who they are, but Dry says, can they both lose? Come on. Ethan's like, Bud, let's go. So I'm all Bud.
I mean, I'm all for the Nebraska guy.
Yeah.
So the local guy, and he's done great things with some of our teams, working out with them, and so. I don't know anything about boxing. We've had this conversation before. What I do know is about UFC, the little bit that I do. Cole's also, I think we've talked about this, but with as far as boxing goes, I'm just going to go for the Nebraska tie guy.
Crypto wants to know, my buddy of mine's got the pay-per-view, Crypto, so I'm headed to his house. I'm going to throw a few bucks in the kitty because he's writing the check for the big thing. So that's what my plan is for tomorrow night. Folks, right now, enjoy great value on outdoor power equipment from Steel. From gas-powered blowers, chainsaws, and more to high-performance pressure washers built to tackle the dirtiest jobs. Find yours at STIHLdealers.com. Back with winners and losers for the week. That's next.
Hy-Vee makes grocery shopping easy with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Just order online, schedule a pickup or delivery time, then leave the shopping to us. Download the Hy-Vee app or go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. It's easy to create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Plus, with Hy-Vee Aisles Online, pickup is free on orders over $24.95, and delivery is free with the Hy-Vee Plus membership. Save time, shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online.
Discover your next Ford with Woodhouse. The truck you've always wanted to the SUV you need, Woodhouse has the full lineup. Plus a huge selection guarantees you'll get the features that matter and at a smart price. Like our current offer on a new Ford F-150. Or needing the versatility of an SUV to take on the everyday. Shop our offers going on now. Find your Ford with Woodhouse online or at one of our 3 convenient locations.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates may apply and may vary by carrier. Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
There's no place like Nebraska, and there's no place that treats you like your home like Sapp Brothers. For over 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland and have been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Husker fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www.sapbrothers.net. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Nebraska Athletics.
Hey, Husker fans! The Lincoln Airport is the official airport of Husker Nation. And now, with 10 nonstop flights to major cities at affordable prices, it's easier than ever to help bring the Sea of Red to away games. Or to visit popular vacation spots like Las Vegas, Orlando, and Nashville. Visit GoFlyLNK.com to book your trip today and fly like a Husker. Go Big Red!
Our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. 18 brands, huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. Time for winners and losers of the week. Miss Coody.
Oh, I get to go first?
Yeah.
Well, my loser is George, the Pac-12 commissioner, George Kliavkoff. He literally went to Pac-12 Media Day saying all this stuff about we're good, everything's in place, everybody's loyal, and then he's blindsided not once with USC and UCLA, now twice, with Colorado leaving and just refusing to, I guess, embrace the whole situation and try to be aggressive, which the Pac-12 commissioner or Big 12 commissioner, Brett Yormark, has done a really good job of navigating all of this, but Pac-12, boy, not looking good in this whole ordeal. My winner, coming from yesterday's news that was put out, the Husker fans, and Nebraska, #2 in the nation behind South Carolina in women's sports attendance, in those four sports that they count attendance in: soccer, volleyball, women's basketball, and softball, that the accumulative attendances that #2 in the country. And you heard Coach Cook saying last night, let's get to #1, but that's awesome, because just for 4 sports to be supported the way that they are, top 25 in all 4 sports attendance, it's impressive.
Sure
you just
is.
don't find that across the country.
Incredible. All right, Cole.
I promise you, Jessica actually stole my loser. Mine was the Pac-12 as well, just with the losing another
Go
team.
ahead.
Well, it's just separate thoughts.
So you're supposed to have a backup if somebody steals your loser.
Well, I didn't. It's hard enough to get one, but
At least you have a loser, because
Yeah,
you
that's
used
right.
to refuse to do that.
winner, though, goes to Max Anderson, who made his, he got drafted 2nd round by the Detroit Tigers, is playing in their single-A affiliate, went 2 for 4 in his debut with a double and a single and an RBI. So, shout out to him.
Yeah, how about that? Is first at bat as a pro, he doubles. I mean, the kid can just hit. Bryce signed today and has been assigned to the Fayetteville, North Carolina High A ball. So that's where he's headed. He'll probably make his debut maybe next week for that. All right, my loser, Northwestern University. The way they have handled this, how poorly they have handled this. No press conference by the AD or the school president. They run the interim head coach out there to take the first shots.
And try to get players to go out
Terrible. Just a terrible look. My winner is actually the Big 12. A lot of people thought the Big 12 was done and gone for 2 years ago when the announcement came down that Oklahoma and Texas were gone. I think they're going to be just fine. They get Colorado. There's more to come for the Big 12. They're going to survive, and they're probably going to be the #3 rated conference after the Big 10 and the SEC.
Northwestern's almost the monthly loser. Not just the
My
weekly
goodness.
loser, but the monthly loser. And yeah, I agree. We were sitting here thinking, oh, the Big 12's done.
Done.
And now they're right there. They're right there at the rest of them.
Yep. So good for them to stay in there. Well, we made it, folks. We did a full Friday show. Hope you enjoyed this one tonight. Have a great weekend. Fan Day is Sunday, 3 to 5 at the Hawks Championship Center. We're back with you on Monday. We'll have our first, love it, practice report coming your way on Monday. Thanks to Cole for steering the ship. Have yourself a great weekend.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Road Townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
Spot less. Introducing the cleanup for tar spot, gray leaf spot, southern rust, and more. Novel Next Generation at Astrio Fungicide broadens your spectrum and strengthens your residual when it comes to foliar disease control in corn. Visit your FMC retailer or at astrio.ag.fmc.com to clean up this season. Follow 2EE for tar spot management in corn. Valid until 1/31/28. Always read and follow all label directions.
Did you know that Lincoln's water is 4 times more hard than what is recommended? This will shorten the life of your water heater, harm pipes through mineral buildup, and is bad for your hair, skin, and clothes. What's the solution? A water softener. Go online to jhlincoln.com to